Welcome to SportsBanter. This is Bryce, and I'm joined by Luca. And this week we're talking about the NBA once again. And man, Luca, we had some crazy trades last week.
Yeah, a bunch of them, and some of them don't even make sense.
Yeah, I agree
At
too.
least teams-wise.
Right. The first guy we're going to talk about is Nikola Vucevic, formerly of the Orlando Magic. Now he's on the Bulls. And man, the Bulls gave up only 2 first-round picks, Wendell Carter and Otto Porter, for an all-star center. Luca, what do you think about this trade?
Um, Before I get into my complete thoughts, then Otto Porter used to be pretty good
Yeah, he used to be pretty good. He used to be an
for my
up-and-coming kind of
tripping.
guy. Eh.
Okay, gotcha. So he might be decent there, but I'll get into the main point of this. The Magic look like they just want to self-destruct. They already suck. Then they get rid of their best player. What are they doing? Maybe rebuilding? I don't know. But
Yeah, they are.
and how I'm looking at this, the Bulls got away with the steal, and the Bulls can make the playoffs this year. And I think next year they'll look even better. This is really good for the Bulls. Uh, they're turning into an exciting team now.
Look, all right. I wouldn't say this is a steal. I'd say it's a good trade for both sides. I mean, the Magic got a promising young center who hasn't really been that good yet in Wendell Carter Jr. They have a veteran who's been pretty solid in Otto Porter, and they have 2 first-round picks, which you might as well call them useless if, the Bulls really work. Like, if this Vucevic experiment works, which I think it will. And I know a lot of people will bring up the fact that the Bulls got blown out in their last 2 games that they played with Vucevic. I mean, Vucevic has played extremely well in those 2 games, but the teams lost both of them by just an eye-opening amount of points. I mean, but at the end of the day, I think it's 2 outliers in like an entire season. Because in both of those games, Zach LaVine didn't play well at all. And Vucevic was the scoring on that team.
Did Zach LaVine get? Because I know he's out right now. Did he get out in one of those games, or did he just get injured in practice?
Yeah, it looks like he's been playing on an ankle injury.
And
And
yeah, so that doesn't help you when your best scorer is out with has an ankle
yeah,
injury.
and in the game last night, he aggravated his sprained ankle. So
Yeah.
he's had 2
So
of his.
I think I agree. 2 outliers. You can't judge them based on these past 2 games. And you give Vucevic a second to adjust to a new team as well.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say
So,
too. It's that this team's not going to be cohesive just right off the bat. I mean, this trade happened Thursday,
yeah,
and I mean they've had like little time to really integrate him into the offense and really scheme around an
exactly.
all-star center.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying that they could make the playoffs this year, but I see them doing better next year than any kind of way they look this year.
Yeah,
I think next year is going to be where it looks.
and then going back to the Magic, just a side note that they traded Evan Fournier, he's the 20-point per game scorer. They traded him away to the Celtics for a couple second-round picks, which I think was a bad trade by the Magic. I get you're trying to get younger, but you got nothing for him.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't put this on the video because we're not going to talk about it for too long, but like, I just don't understand.
Trust the process.
Yeah, I
don't
mean,
know
but
either,
you
though.
really didn't get anything for it, so
Yeah.
there's a lot of players in this Magic team that just got thrown on because of trades. We'll see how it works out. The next trade, it's the 3rd trade from the Magic. Aaron Gordon getting traded away to the Nuggets. What is my...
Yeah, again, another stupid decision from them. I know some people don't like Aaron Gordon. I'm fine with them. He's going to be an improvement for this Nuggets team. Nuggets' best power forward was Millsap, and he was pretty old.
Yeah.
So I think Aaron Gordon really helps fill out that position, and they're going to go on for another decent playoff run. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is good.
Yeah. I
The
mean,
Nuggets.
I think the Magic didn't get too much of a return for Aaron Gordon, which is all right. I mean, they got Gary Harris, he's been on the down. He's been on the downturn in terms of his career. R.J. Hampton is a promising young player, and a 2025 first round
Mm-hmm.
pick. I think that the
Mm-hmm.
Nuggets really are going to benefit from this trade because you have Millsap on the bench, you have Aaron Gordon starting, and Aaron Gordon, of course, an athletic power forward. And he played relatively well, 13 points in his last game when they blew out Atlanta last Sunday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw that.
I just had to say it. But yeah, I think it's a very solid trade for the Nuggets.
Yeah, no, Nuggets look good. I can't just keep saying that, but they do. But don't worry about the Magic. I know they're rebuilding all that, but they still got the pastor on their side, Jonathan Isaac.
They do. They
So,
still have,
just want to say that.
have Jonathan Isaac and they have Markel Fultz. Those are probably one of the two most promising players on that team. If you want to really put Mo Bamba in there, but we don't talk about Mo Bamba.
Anyways,
Next trade. It's kind of a weird one. The Portland Trailblazers and the Toronto Raptors swap their wing players. So the Portland Trailblazers get Norman Powell, and the Raptors get Rodney Hood and Gary Trent. I don't understand this one.
I don't get it either because it's not like one player is substantially better than the other, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Um, but I mean, Norman Powell, he should fit. It must be a personnel decision. Um, Norman Powell probably will work well with the Trailblazers. He's a good small forward. He's the best one on the team. This is going to be fine for both teams, I would imagine.
look, I know Gary Trent. Okay, just to clarify, I'm confused why the Trailblazers made this trade. I don't understand.
What do
I
you mean?
like it for the Raptors. The Raptors, I could argue that the Raptors got a really good deal for this trade, but the Trailblazers.
You think Norman Powell's not as good or something?
No, I mean, I think Norman Powell's better, but he's also 5 years older and on the last year of his contract. You would have to pay Norman Powell
That's true.
significantly
Yeah.
more to get maybe significantly less in the future than you would with Gary Trent. And Gary Trent he's only 22 years old. He's on the rise in the NBA. He can develop into a very solid three-point shooter and player for the Toronto Raptors. And I know Portland
Well,
Trailblazers.
maybe the
The Portland Trailblazers wanted to make a
yeah.
splash. I get that. They wanted to shake things up. But did you really have to shake things up like this? Like, I don't think this is enough of a game changer to really warrant this trade. I think they would have been fine if they just kept their own players and just did nothing.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, next player we're going to talk about, Victor Oladipo. And man, this is another one that it's another one of those trades where you're like, yeah, it's a head scratcher. The Rockets got Avery Bradley and Kelly Olynyk and a first round pick for Victor Oladipo.
So I'm gonna look at this and Oladipo's scenario and his mindset. This is awesome. Why would you want to be at the Rockets right now?
Exactly.
It's not like the Heat's. It's not like the Heat's that amazing, but I mean, you add Oladipo to that team, they can go on for another. They're going to the playoffs. Now, will they get as far as the championship? Probably not. Or championship game is what I mean. But he helps them definitely. This is good for Oladipo. It's good for the Heat. I don't even know what the Rockets. I guess they're just rebuilding too at this point. They realized after Harden left, they realized how bad of a team they are.
Yeah, I mean, before this trade, the Heat were on a 6-game. Well, okay, when they made this trade, they were on a 5-game losing streak. but they ended up making it to 6 after the trade. And Oladipo hasn't played yet. Either way, I mean, I think Oladipo can really get this team back into the playoff picture. They're the 8th seed right now.
Yep.
I don't understand the Rockets. Like, it's not that this trade was bad in itself. Like, Oladipo's on the last year of his contract. You weren't going to get much for him. But it's more so the reason why this is terrible is because when you think about it, you traded James Harden for basically a bunch of first-round picks and nothing else. Because the decisions that happened during the Harden trade is what makes this trade terrible. You could have had Karis LeVert, a promising young guard, and instead you traded him away to get Oladipo and traded him away for nothing. Also, let's not forget, they could have had Jared Allen, the center for the Cleveland Cavaliers, but they decided, no, we don't want Jared Allen. We want to go small with Christian Wood. And is it really working out? No. I mean, this team was on a 20-game losing streak just a week ago. So it's more of my problem with the Houston Rockets in general because they don't really have a core. They could have had 2 young players in Karis LeVert and Jared Allen. But instead, they wasted a trade on Oladipo, who they just traded away for nothing.
Well, to be fair, I mean, Oladipo, I would want to trade for Oladipo. Don't disrespect Oladipo in this.
I wouldn't have.
You wouldn't have? I mean,
No.
I would rather have Karis LeVert. He's a little younger, but I mean...
I'd rather have Karis LeVert 100%. I'm not saying that Karis LeVert's the better player. I'm saying that Karis LeVert's the better value.
Yeah, you get someone who's 2 years younger.
I mean, were you really going to contend with a team of John Wall and Victor Oladipo and Christian Wood? I didn't see that team as a contender without James Harden. So I personally didn't see the vision.
That's what I basically said. James Harden left, and it shows how bad the Rockets are. He's carried them the past years.
And now
which shows how good he is. Shows exactly. he might be the best player in the league, in all honesty. That just shows how talented James Harden is. Not trying to tip ride him right now. Same.
If there was a true definition of the MVP, I think James Harden would be in that conversation, given what this Houston Rockets team looks like.
Yeah.
I think we have a couple more. Yeah, we do have a couple more trades.
We got 4 more.
Hey, man. This one's a little exciting for you. Lou Williams got traded to the Atlanta Hawks. And I'm just going to go over the details a little bit. Because, no, the Clippers did not get more than Rajon Rondo. The Clippers got Rajon Rondo and gave away Lou Williams plus more things. You would think it's the other way around. Yeah, Luca.
Yeah, this is on paper. This is really good for the Hawks because Rondo has not been working out at all. He's just sort of not been performing. Doesn't really fit in with the team. So him leaving and trying out a new venture, good for him. I hope he does well. Wish nothing but the best for him. I don't hate him in any way. He's fine to me. He just wasn't working out at the Hawks. Why get rid of Lou Williams? I have no clue. No clue. But I'll gladly take him. I think if he stays longer than a season or the rest of the season, I don't know what kind of contract he has, then this is definitely going to be a big win for the Hawks. Yeah, he's going to be a great coming off the bench player. He can start for us as well. I think he's that good. He's a little older now, but he's still got it in him to have a couple more really good seasons.
I mean, I'd argue that there is no worst case scenario because you gave away Rajon Rondo and that's it. Like, even if he doesn't stay after this season, this was a good trade for the Atlanta Hawks. I don't understand the Clippers why they decided they need Rajon Rondo to where they give away a bench scorer like Lou Williams, but that's their choice.
Yeah.
I'll let them make their mistakes. Here we go. We got JJ Redick and Nikola Vucevic. We don't need to talk about him. You already know, probably, Luca, how much I adore Nikola Vucevic. But
Oh man, yeah, he's your boy.
this is about JJ Redick getting traded to the Dallas Mavericks. And
Yeah.
yeah.
What were you saying? You said ant.
Oh yeah,
What were you gonna say?
because the Pelicans are receiving James Johnson, Wes Owundo, and a second round pick.
Gotcha. So I mean, Redick going to the Mavericks. He's not going to be starting. They got Josh Richardson, who is quite better, and JJ Redick's a bit old, but I mean he's good for them coming off the bench. I'm Yeah, I don't know. It's a bit odd. I feel like the Pelicans might have been better in this trade. You tell me.
I think it was a good trade for both teams. Mavericks needed more shooting. That's great. JJ Redick wasn't getting minutes on the Pelicans, so the fact that we didn't buy him out and let him go to the Lakers or the Nets, the fact that we traded him to the Mavericks was a great idea. Because I tell you, Luca, given the buyout situations that we're about to talk about, if JJ Redick was in the buyout market, he would sign with the Lakers or the Nets immediately, which would make it a little less fun for the league. And I think the Pelicans got a very solid return. I mean, James Johnson hasn't played yet. I don't know if he will play, but he's a good veteran presence for this younger team. Wes Owundo played like 5 minutes. 5 minutes Tuesday night against the Boston Celtics. Not much to come out of it. I'm just glad we got something for JJ Redick.
Yeah.
And now we are here, the buyout teams, the buyout market. We're going to talk about two big players getting their contracts bought out and going to different teams. The first one's Andre Drummond getting bought out, and he's going to the Lakers.
Yeah, and you know what? Give it to him. He wants to win a ring. He's never won one. Yeah, well, it's good for Drummond. I'd gladly go to the Lakers. I mean, the Lakers don't look too good right now, but I mean, when you get AD and LeBron back, this is going to be quite a team.
Yeah, I'm not hating on the personal decision to do that. I am curious to see what happens with the center rotation, because now you have, at center, you have Drummond, you have Montrezl Harrell, and you have Marc Gasol. You're trying to find all three of those guys minutes. And you've got Kyle Kuzma at the 4, trying to get minutes. I'm thinking like more of if they're all healthy. Like, I know right now, obviously Drummond's going to start, and he's going to start regardless.
You know what's funny? Unless if I've been hiding in a rock or something, Montrezl Harrell's actually been pretty good this season.
Oh yeah, he has.
And now this guy comes and takes your starting spot. I feel for Harrell in this. Very much feel for him.
I mean, Harrell doesn't usually start. But he's usually off the bench. Marc Gasol's usually the starter.
But like but what I'm trying to say is he hasn't done anything wrong, and now he's losing his position, which it stinks in a player's point of view.
Is he losing his position? I don't think he is.
You don't think he is? What do you
No. Why would Montrezl Harrell lose his decision?
Decision? What are you talking about?
What are you talking about? He hasn't been starting.
No, but when Drummond comes in, he's gonna have even less time to play.
That's true, but I think they'd be more willing to take away from Marc Gasol than Montrezl Harrell.
Maybe, yeah, that's fair.
But I mean, Marc Gasol hasn't been playing terribly. It's just how it's gonna be because Drummond's the better player. I'm just a little interested to see how they're going to do that. Like, obviously, at the beginning, it's going to be really easy because LeBron and Anthony Davis are not there. But when this team's at full strength, I don't know what they're going to do, but I don't think it matters. I think they're really, really solid.
Yeah, I agree. Hey, you know what? I will give them this on everything I just said. They're beefing up that center position, so if one of the guys gets hurt, they got at least someone else that can come on. That's
very true. Injuries are a real thing.
Someone that's not crap. Yeah, and I think the center's one of the most important.
And they've got a huge backup plan, obviously, that Anthony Davis can play the 5 at any given moment. So, like, they are very set. at that position.
Yeah.
And then the next guy, the last guy we're going to talk about is LaMarcus Aldridge, getting bought out by the Spurs and signing with the Brooklyn Nets. Man, it seems like anyone will sign with the Brooklyn Nets these days.
Yeah. So sort of the same thing as Drummond. Aldridge just wants to get a ring. I mean, he deserves to too. He's had a good career. It's surprising he hasn't had one yet. Well, given the teams as well, but still, the more players that sign to the Nets, the more I actually hope that they lose. I hope they don't win it. I have nothing because I'm seeing people make fun. I'm not even talking about the trade here, but I'm seeing people like whine and complain about having a super team. And as long as it's in the rules, it's not going against the rule book in any way, I'm fine with it. I don't see a problem with it. Yes, it makes the league less fun or something like that, but I don't think there's a problem with it. I just think it'd be hilarious if they have all these all-stars and players past their prime and they just still lose.
Yeah, I think that'd be really funny
That'd
too.
be hilarious.
I'm actually surprised he hasn't won a ring yet. But that's very true. He hasn't won a ring yet. And he's looking for that first
Marcus,
one.
yeah, you know what? Yeah, he's looking for it, and he does deserve one. So, I mean, at the end of the day, if this team does win it, I mean, most of them deserve to have that ring by now.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not hating on the move. I know LaMarcus Aldridge he's going to fit in this offense. I mean, like I said, they needed a 4.
Definitely.
And I said this too when they signed Blake Griffin. They still needed people. They still needed bodies. And given that Blake Griffin looks like he's kind of playing on the bench for this team. I mean, LaMarcus Aldridge is kind of a bigger body, and he really would get you those rebounds. One thing to note about Aldridge, obviously he's not been as good this season. You could call him a little washed, but at the same time, he brings you the veteran presence. And he still can hoop at the end of the day.
Exactly.
I'm telling you, veteran presence in basketball is severely underrated. Especially for veteran presence is very underrated in the NBA, especially for championship teams.
Yeah. There's that leadership role. That's how I see it.
Yeah, because that's why when you have LeBron in the playoffs, LeBron's a very good playoff player because he's been in the playoffs many times and he is a leader. So
exactly, yeah, he's probably the best leader. I don't know. That's me sort of spitballing.
Yeah.
All the LeBron sexuals gonna be in the comments. Well, no one's in the comments. All the LeBron sexuals in the comments saying, "Yes, Dad, LeBron." All I'm gonna say, it's not LeBron. It's LaFraud with all of his Mickey Mouse rings.
And with that, I will be ending this video. Join us all next week for more basketball and hopefully less LeBron banter. Until next time, this has been Bryce.
Thanks for watching LeBron banter.
This has been Bryce, joined by Luca. And we'll see you all later.